Hey everybody, how's it going? Today's video is going to be featuring my new Cub Cadet Ultima ZTS1 mower. I actually got this mower last spring and I've been running it for over the year, and I wanted to put some hours on it before I did a introduction video on it. I am extremely pleased with this mower. I had a Snapper Pro 36-inch lap bar zero turn, and when we moved into our new house, it was not able to handle my yard, which has approximately 15-degree slopes. The video camera doesn't pick it up accurately, but these are pretty steep. The other side of the house is actually pretty steep as well. And it was just really difficult to mow this yard with that lap bar zero turn. It would constantly want to drift downhill when I was trying to do a straight line. This mower is like a billy goat. It sticks to every hill possible that I've thrown at it. I'm just super pleased with this purchase. This is a 50-inch deck. It's a 3-blade deck. It puts down a really nice cut. It's got these wheels in the front that you can adjust based on the height that you mow at. I typically mow my Bermuda around 2 1/4 inch, which seems to keep it pretty nice. And you adjust it just by using this little turn knob here, which I have it set to 4.5 right now. That's the highest setting. And you push on this little foot lever and then you twist it to the setting you want. That's it. It's really easy. There isn't a lock up feature like my Snapper Pro had, but it's not a big deal. Big feature about this thing is it's a zero turn, but it has a steering wheel. Kind of gives you the functionality of a zero turn, but also like a tractor where you can point the direction of where you're going. So when you turn these wheels, and it's just a mechanical, it doesn't have any power assist. Some of the higher end zero turns do, but not this one. These things will go almost fully sideways. And it's a interesting system. When you do that, it actually controls the hydrostats, and it'll slow down the inside wheel and speed up the outside wheel, so it'll create a smooth turn radius. So it's kind of a neat way they've implemented this, and it works out pretty good. Definitely takes a little bit of getting used to. After the first couple mows, you're right in it, and I love mowing the grass with this thing now. Just a couple of the things right off the bat. It does have some LED running lights that turn on. They're not switchable on and off. Other than just when it's on, they're on, and when it's off, they're off. Like I said, 50-inch deck. It does have a port where you can buy a hose hookup to clean the deck out. I've heard good and bad things about these things. I just clean the deck out manually every couple of mows. I've actually taken it off twice now to clean underneath there during the course of the season, and just give it a good scraping and spray with some WD-40 to keep the rust at bay. We've got some big beefy tires in the back. 3.5-gallon gas tank. It serves my purposes just fine. I think I can get 3 yard mows out of it. There isn't a gas meter or anything on this. You just gotta kind of look at it and know how much gas you got in it. I just top it off every time I mow. This has a Kohler 23 horsepower 7000 series V-twin. It's a good motor. I have no complaints about it. It's powerful enough to get up and down the hills with me, 225-pound man sitting on it. No complaints there. It does have a hitch that it came with. I took it off because otherwise it doesn't quite fit in my garage perfectly, but I saved it. So if I ever need to tow a little trailer or something behind here, you can hook up a hitch right here. On this side, here is the main fuel line, the oil filter. Yeah, so this is the oil drain plug, which goes down to underneath here. And I wrote a little note to myself. It's a 3/4 inch, and you just unscrew that plug and it'll drain the oil out. I've done it once on this so far, and I jacked up the front so that it tilts, the oil drips out a little bit quicker. It does drain relatively slow because it is going through that tiny little tube. The air filter is right underneath here. It's pretty easy to get to. You just flip these 2 little levers open, and you get right there. I need to replace that one for the season here coming up. Clean this every time I get in it. Back to this side, that's the oil filter, standard oil filter. It's on its side there. That's the last time I changed it in July of last year. It had 5.5 hours or 5.3 hours. This is the main fuel line, and I added this valve because it didn't have a fuel shutoff valve on the mower. I think the carburetor has a mechanism built into it that shuts fuel off when it's not in use. I felt better having a valve installed, so I just cut the line, ordered these little clamps, and put it in, and it's been fine ever since. No issues there. So here we have the control panel area. Let's start with the parking brake first. So right now the parking brake is in the off position. This is forward. It means it's off. I just pulled it in here. I must have forgot to put it on. But this is the parking brake locked. So it is not going to roll anymore. It's locked. If you want to push the machine around manually, you push it to the unlocked position. And then there's a secondary lever here that you need to pull back and push over to the right, just like that. And now you can push the mower around manually. That just releases the hydrostats. So now it's back in park. There's the throttle and the choke all the way at the top. So whenever I start it up all the way forward, there's a little detent like right there. That's maximum throttle. There's the choke. So I just crank it up all the way, start it up, put it back down, and adjust it as necessary. This is your power takeoff. Turn on the blades. Your keys obviously here. So this is the run function. Here's the hour meter, which I installed this. This did not come with the mower. I got it at Tractor Supply. They send you a new sticker here, and then this gets plugged in. The wiring's already there for it. It literally just plugs in, and it just starts reading the hours based on when you plug it in, not going like if there was 10 hours on the machine and you plug it in, it's not going to show 10. It's going to show 0. This is not 100% accurate, but it was a new machine when I bought it, close enough. It shows a few things there like low right now because it's saying low oil pressure because the key's on, but the motor's not running, so it's sensing low oil pressure. And then it rotates to the hours, 10.8 hours right now. And then obviously you would start it to turn it to green. And then if you want to mow in reverse, because you don't have the lap bars anymore, if you drive this and you just leave it in the normal driving mode and you pull forward, just like a tractor, and you go backwards, the PTO cuts off as a safety, you know, just in case something's behind you that you can't see. It's just a basic safety feature. But they do give you a workaround if you do want to mow in reverse. So you turn it on, and then when it's running, you turn the key back to this middle position. It'll stay running, and then you press this little triangle button, and this will allow you to cut in reverse. That's what this little thing is saying here. So I turn that on every single time because I do mow in reverse. Just be cautious when you're backing up. Oh, I missed, this is the oil fill and the dipstick right here on the side, just a standard dipstick. It takes 10W30 oil, a semi-synthetic. I'm gonna put a full synthetic in it and run it. It won't hurt it, it'll be fine. Moving forward here, we've got the foot controls. So it is a single pedal that is tied together, and this is forward and this is reverse. Not separate pedals like some tractors have. You get used to it, like I said, and it does have a pretty good braking feature, especially this machine was designed for hills. Another thing with my old zero turn was that when I would go down hills, it would just roll. And if I pulled backwards on the sticks, it would start spinning the wheels backwards. I had no braking force going downhill. But this actually has very significant braking force when rolling downhill. Like I'll just sort of ease off the throttle or ease off the pedal here. It'll creep downhill, giving you really, really good control. So that's something I definitely like about this machine as well. This steering wheel is adjustable right here. So is the seat, and this opens up so you can get to the belts and clean it off every so often. They do give you a little wrench here. I can't remember if it fits that bolt or not. I think it does. But you also use this as a tool for releasing the tension on the spring when you're taking the deck off, which I'm not going to go into that. But if you get this mower, you can inquire about it with your dealership and read your manual about how to do that. The turf tires on this thing are nice. The fronts are nice and aggressive. They're not just the regular flat, you know, caster wheels that you see on a standard zero turn. I haven't had any issues spinning the tires on this machine. It grips really, really well. Now, the hydrostats on this machine are Hydro Gear, and they are a EZT 2200 model, which is more residentially geared. You're not going to want to do any commercial mowing with this thing. You will burn those things out if you're doing all that sort of mowing. They don't have drain plugs. I think some of the newer ones do. They refined the design of the EZT and they added a drain plug so you can service them. This one unfortunately does not, but luckily they give you a nice little access hole to the fill port on both of them. A couple years down the road, when I get itchy to replace the fluid in the hydrostats, I can remove the plug and siphon the fluid out and put new fluid in it. At least I got that going, which is nice. There are a few more commercially geared models based on this steering wheel style zero turn that have an upgraded, I think a 2800 or a 3200 Hydro Gear that have the serviceability and whatnot. There's the other drain plug, or fill port rather. A hex socket you could stick down in there, open it up, put a little siphon pump, and pull the fluid out. I think I opened this up before, but this is where the battery is. I do have a battery tender permanently installed on this mower because I plug it in over the winter, and that's what this little fuse is off to the left, and that wire going to right here. One big complaint I've seen on some of the forums about this machine are these plastic bumps on the back. I guess people complain that they make the seat really, really uncomfortable, and they swap these out with Harley-Davidson springs that are like for spring seat. I haven't had any complaints about it. It's a mower. It's not meant to be a Cadillac. You can get armrests for this machine, and they just install, I think right there's one of the holes, and they just bolt in on the sides and they can lift up and down. I haven't really felt the need to get armrests for this thing. I think I'm hitting all the features of it. I really like this machine. When we first moved into this house, I really hated mowing, to the point where I was going to get rid of the Snapper and just hire a service to do the grass. But I found out real quick that I'd be spending a lot more money every year caring for the grass than just doing it myself. So I decided to just do some research, and I found this, and I tested it at their lot. They had a nice big hill at their lot at the dealership I bought it at, and I was sold. I bought it right then and there. So yeah, if you have hills on your yard, I would highly recommend this machine. They do make it in several different deck sizes. I think there's a 42. Originally, I wanted the 42, but they didn't have one, so I just got the 50. Another 8 inches of mowing makes it so it cuts the grass that much faster. I think they even make it in a 62. That might be getting into some of the commercial spec machines, but they've got a bunch of different models on their website. You can check it out. I think the ZTS1 is like the residential model lines, and then the ZTS2 is where it's a little more commercial grade. Has those serviceable hydrostats, maybe a little bit heavier duty, other things and whatnot. One thing I do have a gripe: the spindles for the blades are non-greasable. So that means they are sealed units. I would have liked to see grease fittings on the spindles for the blades, but unfortunately they decided to take that cost-cutting measure. So inevitably, when one of these does fail, you have to replace the entire spindle. I don't think it's very difficult. I guess a spindle will fail on a greasable unit as well, but at least you can grease them up every year. So I think the commercial models do get greasable ones. The only grease fitting on this entire thing is there's a hole here and there's a hole here. I'm kind of rambling now, but I'm going to post a couple videos about this down the road. I am going to do an oil change video. Eventually, when I do change that fluid in the hydrostats, I'll make a video about that. If I ever need to change the blades, I'll make a video about that. If I ever need to change the spindle, I'll do that as well. You know, the basic maintenance sort of stuff that you expect on my channel. And if anything else comes along, I'll throw it on the channel as well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Love it if you subscribe. Stay tuned for new videos. We'll see you next time. Later.